in terms of
Wow.
in any lessons or any just in the energy frequency.
Well, well, Laura and I discovered that we were going through similar things, and it was interesting in that we didn't know whether we were two peas in the pod or whether because we have a soul connection from past lives or whatever. But we're discovering that we are going through, I don't know, transformational change, for lack of better words, at the same time in the same way. So she'll say, "Hey, I just came to, I don't know how to describe it. Let Laura describe what's been happening for you, that sort of stillness that you've been having."
Right. You and I both have this sense of peace, no fear. It's just this calm, like everything is fine. There's no worries. Everything is moment to moment, manifesting like crazy. Um, yeah, but also being able to see, like, and I'll admit this, I have not been up until this point very good at seeing both sides, and seeing when I've done something wrong and saying I'm sorry. It was always very hard for me. Now it's just like flowing, and I don't want to argue. I have a point of view. I put it
Welcome,
out
this
there,
is
and if you don't
Tyson
like it,
Bannigan.
which many people don't for whatever reason, I don't know. I'm trying to still figure that one out. I don't want to argue
Yeah.
because it doesn't feel like it's angry to me, but it's coming off angry or judgmental or whatever. So there a lot of that is going on with us and manifesting like crazy, like just whew, and there it is. Whew, there it is. Is that like coming up right now?
Yeah, again, it's perspective. So,
Oh, okay.
at any time, and we talked about this before, depending on which level you are on, not judgment, just but where your consciousness is, how you're experiencing things, and how are you allowing yourself to experience things.
Mhm.
So the fact, when you talk about you have that ease and peace in you, right? So that's how you and Tyson are experiencing this time right now. Other people, that's more of a stagnation, that's more apathy, it's more like it is a stillness, but it may not be they may not be experience it in a, I'm going to say positive way, for lack of a better word, though I really don't like to put positive negative on it, but it is more of a pain, right? When you're in that state, you don't have that fire inside of you. You're more in that depressed state, and that usually isn't fun. Although again, some people have been imprinted that depression is like how they should be, so they could get some joy out of being depressed or sad. And we talked about this before, of like everybody has their own definition of what fun and happiness is, right? Like we use these words of happiness as this higher state, but for some people being a complete jackass actually makes them happy.
Or being drunk or stoned or whatever.
Totally.
Hey,
Totally.
I'm happy. I'm happy.
Right,
Right?
exactly.
Well,
So what is happening right now, though, which is very like it's curious. So curious always, right? Like that's another one of my soapboxes of like, can you be in curiosity regardless of what's going on? And now more than ever, because we are in a massive transformational time, and I've been talking about that for the last couple of weeks. We're kind of in a lull right now. And like I heard this one astrologer talk about, it's like we're in the Hunger Games, but we're not like fighting yet in the Hunger Games, but it's not completely peaceful. Like we're preparing ourselves. And I heard somebody else say this, and it really rang true. It's like we're given like this golden sword right now, and it's like, what are you going to do with this? Are you going to cut yourself? Are you going to take this time and like finally fucking cut the things that are not working? And
Yeah.
I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks of like, whatever is not, since the eclipse, so a few weeks, it's like, let things go, don't force.
mhm.
And it's like, what are you really waiting for? Are you waiting for the sign? Like, this is your sign. Let me tell you, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. Cut and run. or
Right.
cut and sit and wait.
Yeah. It's sort of like for me, it's in the middle of a reset button, and everything. It's like quicksand underneath the feet. There's nothing to hang on to. It's like a grasping sand the more you grasp. So
That's
sand
right.
all just goes through your hands. So it's like, but it seems to be like not a cold detachment, but there's like a
Yep.
curiosity, almost like wide-eyed curiosity. Everything's falling away. Even my business, the way I organize myself, everything's up for question. But it's not a depressing thing. It's like, oh, this is interesting. What's next? So
Right.
there's a,
So
yeah,
right, and so let me just let me say a few things, and then before we take a caller, let me just go through this chunk here. So we've had a lot of planets in Capricorn, and we still do. And Capricorn's Earth, right? So it's lower energy. We just had the Moon and the Sun in Cancer, which is a little bit lower sensitive energy, and now the Sun just went into Leo, right? And Leo is fire. And Leo is the heart. Leo is love. Leo is creativity. Leo is just all knowing. Okay. And so what is happening right now with the astrology and just the ergo the energy is we're starting to get that fire inside of us, which a lot of us need. So again, depending on your personal charts, this will be very different. And I actually have a friend who does amazing astrological readings. I know last week Laura, that's what she was asking, like, what do you need to work with me? And she like and I said money, which was not where she was going with that question. But if you do want a personal astrology reading, I could give Michael the information. She's someone that I trust. She's super sweet, super psychic, super intuitive. I do different types of readings. I do use astrology, but if you want, the fingerprint of your soul read, my friend Alana is great at that. Anyway, um, so right now we're going into the fire season, and so one of the things that I wrote down, which is funny because you guys actually brought it up, can't remember if it was before that we went live or not, but about being on an adventure, being on a journey. And this is just the image that I keep seeing in my meditations of reminding everybody like our soul is here to go through this adventure. And so many people create unhappiness and pain because they think they're supposed to be in a certain way or they're supposed to be feeling in a certain way. And I did a posting that got some people, triggered some people too, about don't um, spiritual bypass under the guise of law of attraction. And
Mhm.
it's, like trying to, and, Abraham Hicks talks about this too, of like reach for that higher vibration and go there. But what that's really can happen for people who don't understand is it's pulling them out of where they really are. And it's making them be shameful for where they really are. And you're gaslighting yourself and you're abandoning yourself if you're not fully where you are. And so
right,
this time, like Tyson, you said something like it's impossible for you not to do or see, all these perspectives. And that's like the veil is really thin. Like we're really being given an opportunity to see everything, to see the shadows, to see the dark, to see the light. And so be in curiosity because there is pain involved. We're humans. Sometimes
Mhm.
like our hearts are attached. Our minds are attached, our perceptions are attached. So being okay that something might be painful, but don't equate pain to wrong or bad.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me,
Take a breath. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. Well, it's, we were just so entrained, as kids, don't cry, and of course we don't want to stay in pain. We don't want to create more pain, but what we want to do is embrace, I am sad, this hurts me too. I'm really disappointed, blah blah blah. And now that we got that out of the way, now what do you want to create?
Right,
What else is out there for you, right? In any area in your life, think about how can you use this sword, this magical sword of cutting your beliefs, cutting your ties, cutting these patterns, cutting these oaths and obligations that are way outdated. And I know we use those terms a
right,
lot of times, so people I think are familiar with that. But what agreements, conscious or unconscious, have you made that are actually keeping you in this pain place versus really allowing you to have freedom?
right,
And Leo is all about fun. So it's funny you brought up being kinky at the very beginning, because Leo season is all about, and everything else that's happening like with Uranus and Taurus, and And it's like, what can you do that's really outrageous, might be taboo, that could bring some fun into your life? A lot of us are still shelter in place, but like, what can you really do to literally break the stagnation energy that's here, that fear or worry or whatever, just to get out of your patterns? So, like, literally, like, as we talk about, like, step on that box, burn the box, like there is no box. What can you do that maybe you've never even considered before?
Oh,
And it
maybe I
might be
better get out
hard. Yeah.
my pink tutu.
Exactly.
Oh
Totally.
my God,
and
please,
and go
please video that, please.
One of the things when I lived in LA, I would go skip around my block, because it's literally impossible for you to be sad if you're skipping.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, when other people see you skipping, it's almost impossible for them to be sad. So put the tutu on, go skip around town, and see how that's going to shake the paradigm of so many people.
With or without that mask, right?
Right, right, and with the staff or something too. Your druid. Yeah.
Hey, you
Yeah.
guys first. You guys show me the video, and then I'll go do it. But I'm not going to be the first one to do this.
So that's essentially what it is. And similar to what I said last week, we're always setting ourselves up, but there's a lot of things that are happening in the planets that's never happened in our lifetime. And the decisions that we make right now and the choices that we make right now are really going to set us up, I mean, essentially for the rest of our lives, but definitely for the next year or two, just for the placement of things. So the thoughts that you're having, the choices you're making are real. It's like, are you reaching for happiness? Are you doing things out of to create happiness within you, or are you doing it because you think you should? Like,
Right.
you got a degree, like you have a thing in finance, but you really want to be an artist, but you can't make money. It's like, where are
Mhm.
these decisions coming from?
Yeah,
Right.
I think you're absolutely right. This whole thing about we're not good enough, or we need to strive, or we need to become, or ain't it awful, or whatever. It's like that spiritual bypasses. We're not dealing with what's showing up. We're not processing it. We're not letting it move through our body. We want to be somewhere else because we've been conditioned that we're not good enough. You need to be striving. You need to work hard to succeed. All that
Mhm.
sort of stuff. So can we just be comfortable in our own skin? Can we just be okay with what's happening?
And I do want to say, especially as empaths, I know so many people are going through really challenging times. Like, some people, in other countries, people are getting, the checks from the government to at least help keep them afloat a little bit. United States, they got it once. And yet people are still losing their jobs or losing work that they had, or, losing clients.
Yes.
And so I get it. Like, this is an intense time that most of us, we've never been in a pandemic before. And regardless if it's real or not, like, that's a different conversation. The reality is the consequences of whatever this is are real. People are losing work. People are, in this fear state, right? And
Right.
so even though, we're joking, talk about having fun, I want to have a lot of empathy towards, if you, whomever's listening, you are in that really dark space, because it's really easy to get there, especially as an empath, because you're feeling your own stuff, because our shadows are being highlighted. And you might have judgments around yourself because you are supposed to be a certain way, and then you're feeling everything else.
Mm.
Right.
And so if anybody is listening right now and that's where you are, that, like, I really would love for you to call in so we could do some healing, clearing, to help shift this a little bit, to empower you so you can shift it to allow this fire to ignite you out of that depressed state, so then you can, find balance within you.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I mean, domestic abuse is up 30%.
Yep.
Suicide rates are up 30%. People are in trauma and experiencing trauma. And so if you're in the midst of this, this is your opportunity to phone in and have a clearing, and we'll help you get out of your own way and maybe settle things down for you. So, here we go.
There we go.
Talk about manifesting like that.
saying it's just happening like crazy.
Welcome to the wellness show. And who do we have on the line?
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm good. And how are you?
I'm good. You know that I was having problems with my getting online and stuff like that, and I thought, I guess I probably won't get on today because I couldn't get any volume. And then voila, I turned it on and I got volume.
Well, there you are. Magic, magic. So what can we help you with?
Well, I don't think I fit into the category that you're speaking about, but I am a little bit, confused, I guess, because I'm in the process of trying to sell something.
Yeah.
And then the person agreed they wanted to buy it, and then the original person suddenly decides they can buy it. So I'm sort of in that situation where it is as if, well, you know, who do I decide that I should get in an agreement with, because I don't like confusion.
Right. And none of us like confusion. All right. So have you done any dowsing around it?
To be honest, I'm sort of in that, I just came back from vacation, as you know, so I'm not in that state of doing no dowsing.
Right.
It seems as if I'm not that clear, so I'm sort of
getting our energy back in, yeah.
Right. Well, maybe we just let's tune in. Let Carla have a go at it. So there's.
And can she give that lady that she does horoscopes or something, right?
Well, she does readings and she looks into what's going on. Yeah. So it's not really horoscopes, but she's going to look at your energy field. So we're going to turn it over to her. This is Carla.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't catch your name. What's your name?
My name's Valerie.
Valerie. Nice to meet you, Valerie. So first.
Nice to meet you virtually.
Yeah. Energetically. First, why don't we call all your soul fragments back? You know, when we go into confusion, and when the pendulum isn't working and dowsing, a lot of that is one, you might be.
I wouldn't say it's not working. It's just like I don't trust it because I know that I'm not really fully focused.
Got it. So there's a couple of reasons, right? You know, you might be integrating, processing something. There might be other energy in your space, or you might have parts of you scattered all around, you know, based on your thoughts, etc. If you're traveling. So first and foremost, let's just visualize like a rainbow around you, frequency, and call all of your soul fragments back from your astral travels, from your physical travels, your thoughts, interactions with friends, family, clients, whatever.
I have a point of view. I put
Welcome.
it out
This
there,
is
and if you
Tyhson.
don't like
about this before, depending on which level you are on, and just find that center in your heart, clients, whatever. And, you know, being in curiosity of what if, you know, there isn't a right answer, and what if there isn't a wrong answer, you know, and every decision it just is. And so I don't know the situation in terms of, you know, what you're selling or what you're buying, and we actually don't need to know. I think the most important thing here, one, is making sure that you are congruent within your own integrity. So before you make any decision based on anybody else, for you, what do you feel is in your highest and best, being true to your truth and your integrity? Okay, so whether it's person A or person B, whether it's verbal agreements, written agreements, for you, what feels like the capital T truth for you. Now, if it's still could be either A or B, then, well, first let me just ask you. So just from that perspective, if you put your integrity, you know, first and really tuning into that, does that help you decide on person A or person B?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. And when you make that decision within yourself, how does that feel?
Um, I don't know. I guess because the first person, has been a tenant for a while, and so I sort of feel that I should give her priority. But then it's taken a while for her,
Okay.
and then just when I decide that I'm going with the other individual,
Sure.
her daughter comes up that she can help her.
Sure. And that's, that's kind of like the law of energy anyway, right? It's like if something gets pulled away, the other person ignites like I really want it, and the universe conspires to help make him happen. It happens in relationships, it happens with work. Like it's when something starts to pull away, it helps everybody else get to their truth. So so if you pulled away and that first person just totally dissolved, to me that seems like that was the best thing. The fact that you pulled away and that energy came forth even stronger, it does seem, like that could be it. But one thing that is coming through, and this is something that maybe we all could douse on, is does this first person have, like, is there trickster energy? Is there something else that's happening that they still might fade away? If money isn't exchanged yet, there's still no deal, right? And so
Yeah,
we
because
need to.
what happened is, you see, she can't finance it, so her daughter, um, you know, by way of a lawyer, decides that oh, she can do it.
Right. I think the key to this, and excuse me for jumping in, is
Of
that
course,
That's
please.
okay.
at the very beginning, you said something to me that's very telling, is that you've been traveling and you're just settling in, and dowsing isn't something that you feel comfortable with. So it means you're really not in your body. You're not at home in every sense of the word. You're coming home from traveling, but you're not home in your body. When you're at home in your body and feeling centered, then decisions will and events will happen spontaneously.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like the universe is saying, "Welcome home, Valerie. Let's get you back into your body. Let's get you home. You're not on vacation anymore, and let's get you settled here. And when you're settled, then everything can come back into the divine order, and the decisions will be really clear for you." So that's what I would say if I was going to tap in and get a message from the universe and translate it for you. That would be the message. Welcome home, Valerie. Let's get you in your body, and so you can. This will all fall into place.
Yeah, I guess, and I think I have to try not to be emotionally attached to the whole thing, because what
Exactly.
happened is the individual that wants to purchase it, it's somebody that was going to partner with her.
Yeah.
Then the person changed their mind and decided they want to do it for themselves.
Yes.
So I'm also feeling, well, I didn't like that kind of action. So do I really want to deal with this person?
Again, and that's as
Right.
again decisions in the head rather than in the
Yes.
heart, right? Trying to figure
Yes.
it out. So I'm
And
gonna give
and
you back to Carla because that's my
Okay,
perspective.
and then I won't talk anymore. I'll just.
It's okay.
no, you're
No,
great.
you're doing
The
great. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so, from a astrological aspect, so Mercury is, everybody hears about Mercury retrograde. And the reason it is really relevant to our life, because Mercury is about communication. Mercury is, mental. So decision making. And it's not retrograde anymore, but it's still what is considered in its shadow. So it hasn't fully gone direct, meaning it hasn't fully started a new path yet. It is this week. So so ironically enough, being confused right now is actually part of what's happening, with the energetic energies of the world. And so if you don't have to make a decision right now, I always say don't. Wait until you get a hell yes or a hell no, or you're super congruent to it. If you don't have to decide, give yourself and everybody else the leisure of time and patience. And if that annoys them, then they could leave.
Oh, I like that. How's that for help? That one resonated with you.
Okay, and before I go, were you, I don't remember who the heck it was, whether it's you or or it was earlier in the week, somebody was talking about the moon phase.
Yeah, that was not Carla.
Okay, okay. I'll leave that alone.
Yeah, but every Monday you can come on and see if you can get on and have a conversation, or if you go to the Monday show notes, you'll be able to make that connection if you want to go any deeper or have a session. And who would be talking to is Corey Varlin. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She's the moon cycle lady.
About the moon, and I wrote it down, but I can't remember where the heck I wrote it.
Yeah. Okay. All righty. So thanks for phoning in, Valerie. All right. Bye for now.
Have a good day. Yeah. Bye bye.
Well, we had other people phoning in at the same time, so just to let you know, there's the phone number. The lines are now open: 1-866-369-7464. And I know you were phoning in, so come on back.
And I just wanted to also say to Valerie, I'm sure she could find a recording to the Monday session that you guys had somewhere. So even though she may not remember she wrote it down, she could always go back and re-listen, and maybe she'll find even more nuggets that she didn't hear the first time.
Absolutely. And yeah, basically with the moon cycle, if I'm understanding it right, you really need to know when your time of birth is and the actual time. So if you don't know the actual time before you phone in, go check out your birth certificate, and because I have to do that too. And what was the real time that you were born? Hello, welcome to the Wellness Show. And who are we talking to?
I'm talking to Sharon from
Hi.
Australia. How are you doing?
We're doing fine. Hi, Sharon. And where are you phoning from?
Hey, I was just looking to speak to Carla and get a reading.
You wanted to get a reading. We're not doing readings, but we can help you take a look at astrologically influences of what are going on. So what's up in your life?
What kind of reading?
At the moment, I'm having a lot of things come up with viciousness and trying to move forward in my life and letting things go.
Yeah, okay.
And letting it flow. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so that is basically what's happening right now, right? Like at the beginning, we're talking about like you have this sword, what is it that the universe is really pointing you to use that on in terms of what aspects in your life are you letting go? Yeah. This is live. I don't know how vulnerable you want to be or, how personal you want to be. But the more information that, go ahead.
Yes, just leaving my partner behind, and apparently, like I've been in this dynamic for lifetimes with the same kind of thing, like abuse and power, and all struggles in that kind of sense, and just really what I need to do now is kind of turn it into love, to let it go and forgive. But I'm really struggling with that.
Yeah, so first of all, congratulations on recognizing the patterns, recognizing this is lifetimes, and recognizing it's not serving anymore. The fact that you want to turn into love is really great and beautiful. However, the fact that you say you're having challenging with that, maybe you need to sit in the gunk of it, just like what I was saying at the beginning. Don't spiritual bypass, don't go right into love. So you can still bring love into the gunk, right? So you can be angry. Like, I don't hear a lot of anger. Like if you've been in a pattern dynamic, regardless, like nobody, like both parties are air quote at fault, right? It takes two to tango. so and if you're repeating these cycles, you might have some shame, guilt, frustrations within yourself for air quote allowing this or participating in it. And there's also could be some frustrating anger, towards the other person who's also playing in this dynamic. And so allow yourself to really feel all of these things. Shame when I tune in and feel shame with people, it's literally a net that prevents them from going forward. And it's something that we're not taught to embrace. We're not taught that it's okay to feel shame. We're not taught anything of how to deal with these air quote lower vibrational feelings, but they are feelings and they're real. So just by me,
Yeah.
sharing this, like what's coming up for you as you're hearing this?
Well, yeah, I guess what's coming up is I'm feeling like I've been feeling all of those feelings for so long.
For
And
so
then
long.
going in between, trying to get understanding, forgiveness, trying to get all that, then feeling those, all that. I just feel
So
like
so what if
it's been a long time I've been feeling those feelings.
great. So okay, perfect. I love this is so good. This is so good, so good. So you're feeling them. So there's a difference between being with them and being in them. Okay. So when you're in them, think of it kind of like the whole analogy that we often use when we talk about codependency. It's like if you see somebody drowning, you don't jump in, and drown with them. You stay on the side and you throw them a raft or whatever and you reel them in. Okay. This is the same thing for us within ourselves. So there's a way where we could sit beside our feelings and emotions, being the observer, nurturing that, kind of like being the adult to our inner child, because that's essentially what's happening. Or other aspects of us, as Tyhson apparently had a conversation about, different souls within us, but we'll table that for a minute. But going in there and loving it, but still being the adult, still being the observer of these feelings. Because when you're able to do that, then you still could actually move on and these feelings aren't swallowing you. And trust me, I've been swallowed by feelings. Tyson's been the guy on the sideline pulling me out many of times. So I speak of this, not from a like an elitist point of view, but someone who's been there and has learned this definitely the hard way. I was not, I was very stubborn of learning this.
Yeah, Carla's the queen of relationships.
Yes. It's true. Like that's has been my karmic lessons. Like I have learned my spiritual growth has been through very intense going through when someone looks at my chart, they say, "Oh God, you came here to clear up all of your your karmic relationships." And it's not easy. So my heart goes out to you. So the other thing that I wrote down that you said is you're trying to understand it. Don't try to understand it.
Don't try. No more trying.
Especially right now. Hindsight's always 2020. You understand it when you're out of the weeds. Right now you're in the weeds, don't understand it, process it, and you might actually just be at the place where you literally just change your pattern at this point. You literally do the opposite of everything that you've been doing and you actually just you pack up and you leave. Like literally
Yeah,
cutting.
yeah, I've done that.
Good. Well
Okay.
done.
Okay, so you physically so tell me what's coming up right now. So you're
you.
literally just change your so if you've done that, what's really like present right now?
Oh, it's hard to say. I, we have children. He's got them at the moment, and I'm really stressed about it. But I'm not. But I am.
Can I just intervene here? So
Yeah, and I didn't hear what she said, by the way. Like it was choppy.
Okay, let me just see if I can. So let me just translate this. So did you say that he has the children and that's what you're worried about? Is that correct?
Yeah. I'm going to pick them up.
You're going to pick them up tomorrow,
Yeah.
and you're worried about it because you're going to see him, right?
but she is.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
So what
Okay.
I'm saying is that her thoughts are
And I
spinning.
just don't want to get drawn into everything again. I just want to collect the kids, know that they've been okay, and
Right.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
her thoughts are spinning and she's having a hard time coming into her center. So I'm just going to say a prayer for her. God, I pray that this caller finds peace within her
You
spinning
can see this green or
and
not, but anyway, that's
fusion,
what's happening.
and that
Carla's yawning and coloring at the same time. You're getting double whammy.
she wants to understand,
Thank you guys.
just to like calm that down, just to bring them, there it goes.
Can you hear what Laura's saying?
Yes.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, one part of me wants to just say to you that you've got this. You really do. You really have this. And if you get out of the fear factor about meeting your ex and picking up the kids, you're just going to sail up and just do it. You're going to be really clear-minded. There's not going to be overwhelmed. I just really see you sailing through this. So if you can just let it go, there's nothing to figure out, nothing to do but show up and be you. You know, I think it'll be just fine.
Yeah. So there's a couple of different things here. So when we're breaking patterns,
Mhm.
right? Like we literally have grooves in our brains. Every thought we think, it creates a groove. And the more times we think that thought, there's physical grooves in our brains, right? If you ever studied like neuroscience and how that works. And so same thing also energetically, like, the analogy of the rubber band, lifetimes of this pattern, right?
Yeah.
So like you are and this other human have this connection and have this really deep rooted pattern within you. And so I understand the fear of whatever it's repeating it, or fear of like whatever these fears are coming up, and there could be a million of them at different times. And I get that they're totally valid because you've been here for a long time. The other thing that's really true and valid is it's also could be done, and you literally are just trying something new, and that's really scary because we know patterns, we know them really well, and it seems weird to be scared of something that isn't like that abusive. It seems weird to be scared of something that could be free, but it's new, and our brain is
Yes.
wired to keep us safe. And even though it wasn't necessarily a safe environment, you knew what was going to happen, so there was safety and the knowingness. Unknowing creates a lot of fear. So not only are you reprogramming yourself, you're also going against how the brain is wired for safety. So I just want to validate everything that you're feeling. Like there's literally like a physiological reason why you're feeling that, in addition to, the spiritual connection and everything. And so, Tyhson, as Tyhson will says, can you just let it go? And Laura's doing healing and I'm saying all these things. It's always easy on the outside to do healings and to give ideas and suggestions. When you're in it, it could be really, really difficult.
Mhm.
And so step by step, breath by breath, calling your energy back to your heart,
Mhm.
taking a deep breath. What is your truth in this moment? What choice am I making at this moment? As Laura was saying, like your thoughts are spinning, that is creating way more unease,
Mhm.
way more confusion than what is actually the reality in the moment. Because the reality of the moment is you're peaceful, you're in a new environment, and you're creating a new life for yourself.
And you're doing incredibly well at it, by the way.
And if you could sit in meditation and literally allow your mind to play out everything, like all the worst scenarios, and just be the witness and be like, okay, that's a possibility. Okay. And what if that happens? Okay. Okay. Because when you play it out in your head and you're the observer, you're not attaching, it kind of just vanishes. Like it doesn't, because it's kind of like how they say write things down before you go to bed. It's like if you write it down, your brain could let go and you could sleep more peacefully, versus if you're like, I have to get up at 2, I have these things to do. Your brain is going to recycle all of this because it's here to serve you. But if you write it down, it's like, okay. So if you're in meditation, play it out, write it out, paint it out, dance it out, do whatever you can to truly embody all of these fears so they can be felt and then released.
And then one more thing, I have this crazy idea. I see you putting on your Superwoman suit
Yes.
before you go and pick up the kids. So if you can imagine literally putting your Superwoman suit on, and going and visiting kids. You'll just have all that magnificent power with you, and you'll be just fine.
And the other thing, with the kid, like, and I just have chills from head to toe by you, and I have tears, like by you breaking this pattern, you are in chills, chills, chills. You're breaking this pattern for your children so they don't have to follow in your footsteps because we do take
Yeah,
on the karma of our parents.
Right. Yeah.
And so you're breaking this, which is setting them free. So Tyson, do you want to do the court of atonement for her and everybody involved in the situation?
Sure. Why don't we do a court of atonement? So, I, Tyson Bannigan, in my holy name, with the assistance of Divine Mother, Divine Father, and the source that all that is, put everybody on this call or listening to this call who's going through some trauma of letting go of what no longer serves them, and welcoming in a new way of being, to put all that in and all those associated with it into the full court of atonement so that it can be fully resolved according to the law, one which is do no harm and the most benevolent outcome for all concerned. And we ask that the matriarchal, patriarchal lineages of all those concerned be cleared and cleaned and dealt with throughout the soul family and family of origin, soul family and star family lineages, and all brought to resolution so it is equitable and meaningful, and all the lessons learned and karma dealt with throughout all timelines, known or unknown, and throughout past, present, and future. And I declare it so be it. It is done. Thank you.
Amen. Aho Ashe. And anything that's blocking that from happening being super easy peasy, let's just clear that in all dimensions known and unknown.
Yeah, easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for phoning in. Hopefully this will, well, not hopefully. I just think you got this one.
How are you feeling right now? Like,
Good.
honestly.
She feels good.
Yeah. Great.
Great. All right. Go kick some butt in a loving way.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye-bye. Thanks for showing up.
Thank you.
Well, I'm really pleased that she phoned in. I mean, she's representing so many people that are going through so many changes and transformation all over this planet. That takes a lot of courage to show up and put that right out there and ask for some help. So when you do this on this call, just remember that you're doing it for hundreds and thousands of people that are not brave enough or don't have the opportunity to phone in. So thank you for helping everybody that's literally in that stage. When you clear, they clear too. So.
And that's what Oz said. I resonate with the kids part. So
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, everybody gets a clearing from this. So thank you.
Yeah, and I'm still clearing, like it's still coming through. So
yeah, that's one strong lady. And to know, and I mean, I'm getting shivers too, to know that this lifetimes and lifetimes, and all of a sudden she's got this for the first time. She understands it at that depth. That's very powerful.
Well, and you also have to understand that we're doing this much of a reading that should be this much. So, that's why Carla is still clearing, because there's so much more that could be discussed with our caller. So know that Tyson and Carla both do readings. So,
and one of the things that I want to say too is it's something that I didn't mention while she was on the call, but when we're breaking these lifetimes of patterns, or even just this lifetime, it's okay to also to feel sad. Like, even if it's, this is where it's a mind fuck. It's like, why am I sad if I was in an abusive relationship? It's like, because there's so much more. Like, there's soul connections and people get you. And with intense connections, people get you and you are seen in ways that you've never been before. Even if there's other very unhealthy aspects to it, there are still aspects that hook into you, and that it's sad for that to go. And this is, being able to feel all of that without shame, guilt. And that's like, we just have emotions and feelings. And can we allow ourselves to feel the sadness, to feel the, and also having relief? Like, if you're leaving and somebody else is suffering, like that could bring up guilt, especially for empaths.
In a lot of relationships, you vibrate at the same level. So even if it's toxic, it's still the same vibration. So they're both on that same level. And sometimes what's hard to like leave because you're at some point, in some way, holding each other up or in or whatever.
I think in an intense relationship like that, when it's karmically connected and you're coming together like that, there's extremely high highs, and they're absolutely deliciously sexy, wonderful, all encompassing. So we have to recognize that. I mean, so there's something in to be really quite blunt about it, in the sex and the union and the strength of it and the fire of the Leo lion, that we need to honor that. And that takes grieving of, well, something that was so intense. Yes, it doesn't deny that there was abuse, and I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to say that the two coexist, right? Like this, and that intensity is something that we can get addicted to.
Right. And remembering, you know, from a human standpoint, we are typically playing out our childhood dynamics to get healing that we didn't get as kids with our romantic partner.
Yeah.
That's essentially what happens. And at some points it might break that, but it's kind of like the point. We could heal. So you're either healing through them or you're repeating patterns through them. And sometimes you have to repeat patterns to get to the healing. And then
the
you have
feeling is the healing, right? I mean, that's what you're trying to say to people, is that
the feeling is the healing.
You got to deal with the feelings, right?
For sure. And then you have to make different choices.
Yes, yeah.
And that's not always fun. And then it's the rubber band, right? You could be like, I'm away, and then it dissolves, and then it dissolves, and they come in and they're really sweet, and then you go in, and then, I mean, yeah, I'm not projecting at all here.
No, not at all. Absolutely.
And then you have psychic connections, right? Like one of my most intense relationships, like we astral travel, we connect, we like channel the universe together. And it's like, there's not very many people, you know, where you can do that with, you know, and have other emotional things. So it's so like there, when you get into human dynamics and relationships, there's so many aspects that from the outside people don't understand, because you're dealing with energy, because you have the synergy of the energies,
right?
And how you radiate and how they radiate, and then they come together, and there's literally nothing will ever be that way, because it's you know, it's like my paintings, like there will never be a painting like that because of how the colors and the energies came together in their own unique way. But this is where we honor and to grieve that,
right,
without holding on to that.
All right, 9 more minutes to go, says Michael. One more caller. Yes,
great, bring it on.
Lines are open. 1-866-369-7464. And I think he said something about 444, didn't he? What did you say?
Yeah, it's an angelic number for the angels are watching over you and helping.
And intuition.
And yeah. Yep.
So we got time for one more. Come on, give us. Whoops. Whoa, where's that number? No.
Other side. Other side.
Go like this. Where you normally point, now go like that.
So come on and join us. 1-866-369-7464, and let us help you.
And speaking of intuition, I'm going to be relaunching one of my programs that I could just. So it used to be called Mastering Intuition, but I'm in the process of renaming it, because you're not going to master it in one course, right? Mastering your intuition is something that happens.
No.
It's something that happens, you know, through your life. And
right.
So I don't. So speaking of integrity, like I feel like it might be misleading, even though the final results are that. But it's going to be broken up in 3 parts. The first part is going inward, getting really intimate with yourself, really learning your energy frequencies. The second part is how does intuition run through you? How do you hear it, feel it, see it? And then the third part, I'm going to be connecting you to your guides. And for the first time, I'm going to allow people just to do the first part or just to do the second part. They'll be priced individually or collectively. So I'll be launching that probably August or September. I'm just getting I'm actually going to have some like PDFs made. I've done this 3 or 4 times, and it's usually just really whimsical, and I usually don't have yeah, I
That's
usually don't have things. It's really fun. And it's not an online course. I'm going to be with you. I'm going to be coaching you. I'm going to be channeling with you. So it's
Mm.
super valuable. Anyway, just wanted to do, I don't usually plug anything that I'm doing, but there we go.
Well,
I
I've
just
got to play
plug.
with Carla, and I can say it's a lot of fun. Carla's come and hung out at our place, and we did some masterminding. I don't know how long we did it for. We called it Hotel California because nobody wanted to go home. So there was some magic happening. And I can guarantee you that playing with Carla is a lot of fun. I think at that time we were doing business in a box, but much more than that. It was sort of your life in a box.
Right.
It's called business in a box, but it was really life in your box or getting your life out of the box. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. And for one period of time, the ladies were all over in the cottage doing their thing, and the men were all over doing their thing. And then we all got together in the evening and shared what was happening. Pretty magical. So I can say, if you feels right for you, you've got to go play with Carla. It's lots of fun. So there.
So
So
there.
so there. So just take that. So says Oz says, I learned to be grateful for the negative emotions surfacing as well. You cannot clear what you don't know. I love that. I let go of what no longer serves me, break the patterns, do things differently. Having said that, I choose to live in the moment and attract love and gratitude. That's her daily theme. Well, thank you.
And
Thank
remember how many times we told her to let go, let go, let go. I'm just like cheering for her so hardcore right now. Good job, Oz.
Yeah, that's really amazing because you kept phoning us and saying, I need to solve this. Yeah, great. Wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah. And by the way, Oz is a great painter as well and a very much an artist in her own right. So I'm excited that that's your daily theme. And thanks for sharing it. All right. We have a little bit of time going. We got 5 more minutes to go to the top of the hour. We're willing and able to take another caller, or you're going to have to listen to us talk amongst ourselves. So
Well, I was going to bring up something that came up on. I had a client call yesterday, and she mentioned she felt a little bit abandoned by me because she was going through something, healing something. We had her call, gave her some tools, and then went away. And like what Oz just said, of like how like this is where she is. Oz is female, right?
yes.
Okay, so this is where Oz is right now. Is like she's able to do that. And just like with what I was saying about my course, it takes time. Like this isn't an overnight, you flip the switch and you know how to channel, you know how to clear your energy, how you're feeling. Most of us are checked out of our bodies most of our lives. So coming in might sound really simple, but it's super hard if you're not used to it, or if it was unsafe for you. And so I just really want, as we're saying, like just let it go or do that. It's easier when you have a mentor, but this is the part, this is at the very beginning, setting this up as your life is a journey and an adventure. And it is you're literally learning how you are supposed to be here for you this lifetime. And how Tyson does it and Laura does it and I do it, we've learned that, and how you do it might be a combination of all of ours or something completely different. So I just want to give everybody permission, to take your time, to stay the course, don't give up, and allow your unique way of doing it to be able to express, and don't compare to how other people are doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. What I liked about what Oz is saying, it's almost like she's discovered an anchor that she can anchor into the present. And then I get this feeling of it like a big boat anchor. And then when she sort of loses it, she's still got that chain to that anchor and can find her way back and be grounded. So we're not saying you can't go explore the universe. We're not saying you can't have these amazing emotional, spiritual experiences. We're just saying we don't want you to do what Carla calls spiritual bypass. We don't want you to avoid the opportunity that only you can have by having a physical body. And a physical body experiences emotions and feelings. That's what you're here to do. You're here to process that. That's the way you work through karma. So if you're in La La Land with unicorns and balloons and lollipops all the time, you're not really doing the work that allows you to have the lollipops and the unicorns part of your daily life instead of something that you're out of body experiencing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I see we have 1 minute left. And one of the things, two things I want to say, like what Oz said, how she, cannot clear what you don't know, right? That's the advantages of not spiritual bypassing, because when you go in there, now you know the work, where it is to clear. My other belief, and I know we only have a minute, so we probably can't get into a big discussion, is, I really view each human as their own snow globe, and they're here on their own individual journey, and they're having their own universe within that. There's some souls that reincarnated that's like, I've done so much work. I don't want to do spiritual work this time. I want to just go and have an easy life and play with the unicorns and not have to do it. That's totally fine. That's completely different than people who are here to do their work, but they're choosing not to. They're choosing to ignore this, and they're up in here bypassing. And you could do that on your own, that's fine, but when you're teaching it and you're guiding other people to do it that way, that's where it gets a little bit tricky and out of integrity for me anyway.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. So before you choose your teacher, maybe look at how much are they grounded, or are they teaching you to fly with the unicorns, right? Nothing wrong with flying with unicorns. I would love to do that too, but don't forget you got your daily life to deal with kids and trauma and X's and O's and those leaving and coming and all of the daily stuff, right? That we want. So really what Laura and Carla and myself are talking about, in my words, is full body enlightenment right here, right now, in this body. We're not going anywhere. We're not ascending. We're not vacating. We're not waiting for UFOs to pick us up and take us home, although, hey, I'm open to that.
Right.
We're just here processing it, right? As we remember that we've already arrived, that we're already the Buddha, we're already enlightened. So the only thing in the way is our own thoughts and our own emotions and feelings. So let's process them and get out of our own way. So thanks for showing up. It was a great show. We're back Monday morning, same time, same place for you for next hour. And we're going to be then back with Corey Varlin, and we're going to be talking about what's up with the moon, what's going to be astral inspirations and psychic readings. And that's a whole new way of looking at where you are vis-a-vis your chart, right? So we're getting the weather from Carla, right? But if you need to get into the nitty-gritty of who you be in your chart and all those fine munitions, how do you say that word? Little tiny bits?
Sure. I don't know what word you're trying to say.
Well, I'm trying to say menu. It starts with M. But
oh yeah, I can't say that word either.
I can't say. If you really want to get in there tight and understand a minutia, thank you.
Oh, minutia.
Then it's. Do you want to know where your moon cycle is? You want to know when you were born and what time, and then she can help you really zero in. So that's a whole different thing. Well, thank you for the weather report. It sounds like don't grab onto anything right now. Just let it all happen, and it'll all work out. Just be okay with it.
Yeah, and let go.
And let go. The lion is coming. All right, bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca. and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.